Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be converting the Razorleaf into a simple version of the Razor Crest for early game use. Depending on when you get the Razorleaf, this will be a really good build for you. If you're late in your game, then you can probably use some of the other guys out there that have access to more parts. But for early game use, only the first rank in spaceship and the spaceship skill, this should work out really well for you. We're going to start out at Deimos. We are going to show you all the parts that we're purchasing, all the parts we're keeping, and where to get the parts that we're purchasing at. So starting out, we're at Deimos, and we're going to begin just by taking out the landing bay and building from there. So let's get started. All right, we're going to take the landing bay over here. We are going to keep the landing bay, the default landing bay. I have tested this on several different builds. There are other landing bays out there that look nicer, but this is one that gives us the access the way we want to keep it as consistent as possible with the TV show. All right, so going to start there. Then we're going to add the Deimos companionway. I'm going to do 3 of those right after we get the colors done. So let's take this, do the little trick of adjust slightly, and then we can come to here, and that gives us all the colors. There we go. Then we'll duplicate this, and we're going to be doing 3 stories for Razor Crest for this version of it. Immediately behind is going to be the reactor. I'm going to put the shield on top of the reactor still. And then we're going to bring the grav drive and put it underneath the reactor. So that's your backside already. And then attached to the reactor, we're going to put a Deimos belly 4, though it's technically going on the aft, but to give us that curve for the Razor Crest. Attaching here, the Deimos bumper port aft, and then on the other side, Deimos bumper starboard aft. And then something else you get to keep from the Razorleaf is the engines. So as I said, this character still early in the game. I don't have Starship Design rank 3, but because I am modifying the Razorleaf, I get to keep these engines. Just bring this over, bring it up to the top, and there you go. Now, we will not need the cowling 4, so we're going to get rid of that. We're going to take this armory. Oops. It goes down as the entry point right after the companionways, and we're using the companionways to be the ladder well. And then into the armory. The captain's cabin is going to be on the 2nd floor. And then we're going to do a workshop on the 3rd floor and get those colors changed. All right. Now we're going to bring over these parts. I wanted those separately. Attach that there. I don't know why it did that. There it goes again. All right. Separate. There we go. And this over, we're going to move this weapon up onto there. We'll do the same thing with the other one. The docker, we're going to put that at the bottom of the stairwell, or the ladder well. These engines, for the time being, are going to attach to the side of the docker. Or not the docker, the landing bay. These are going to go just wherever they'll fit at, because we're going to be getting rid of them soon. This cargo bay, we don't want this cargo bay. We're going to go underneath the wing, and we're going to swap it out for the 200 cm ballast cargo hold. So this is not, it's not going to be a large cargo ship by any means. We'll be getting a different cockpit later on. And then we're also going to swap out this. Do we want to swap it out now? Yeah, we're going to swap it out now. So your fuel tank, we're going to swap out for the M30 Ulysses HE3 tank. 2 of them on either side. And the aesthetic will come in better later on when we move it down to where it's actually supposed to be at. But for the moment, our landing gear is in the way, so we can't quite do that. All right, so you can see things are starting to come along here. We actually need to get 2 more of these, but for the front. Let's see if they'll fit here. We passed it. There we go. Does not appear as though they're going to be fitting in very well. So, how can we do this? Yeah, they could probably get right there. And then we'll move them into position later. All right. So that's the first stop at Deimos. From Deimos, you want to get the belly aft. You want to get your bumpers, starboard aft, port aft, starboard 4, port 4. You can probably get the Ulysses tank from anywhere, but I went and got it here at Deimos. What else? Get your workshop from Deimos and your stairwell from Deimos. All right. Next stop is going to be HopeTech. All right. Here we are at HopeTech, and here we're going to swap out a couple things. We're going to get the landing gear swapped out here. We're also going to swap out the Deimos armory for the HopeTech armory, because the HopeTech armory comes with an actual brig inside of it instead of just being an armory. And if we're going to do the Razor Crest, we need something similar to the carbon freezing chamber that Dinjarin has. So the brig from the HopeTech is pretty close to it. So let's get started here. Go ahead and remove these landing gears. And the landing gear we're going for is the Hope 6 landing gear. You can do the fore and rear of both of those. While we're at it, we can go and move fuel tank down. It's not a seamless transition, but it's got that curve in there better than the previous. Looking good so far. Let's move these engines up onto the grav drive. And then we can put in the starboard aft. It's not letting me put it in there just yet. Oh, I grabbed the port one. There we go. This fits in there nicely. Starboard aft. And starboard forward. There we go. So those engines are swapped out. Let's swap out the armory, Deimos armory, or the HopeTech armory. Go. Just going to get the colors again. So I'm keeping with the Mantis colors just because why not? They work. They look good enough for what we're doing. I don't believe that has any bearing on spacers recognizing you as the Mantis, so you can use whatever colors you want to. I'm just choosing to stick with the original Mantis colors. Okay, so we got it colored. We got the parts we wanted swapped out. And now we're ready to move on to Neon, where our final parts are at. See you there. All right, and here we are at Neon. Neon has our cockpit and a few of our side caps that we want to use. We may have one other stop, depending on if Neon has the caps we want for the front. But starting out, we're going to go ahead and grab cockpit. And we could get the Deimos enhanced one, I think. So the key with the cockpit, let's grab this companionway to give an example. The key with the cockpit is that it needs to be flush with the front as much as possible, without doing any glitches or anything. There are others out there that do glitches that make it happen, but I'm not doing that. So the one cockpit we currently have obviously will not do that. So let's look and see with this one, Deimos enhanced cockpit. Yes, that is extremely close to being fully flush. So we're going to grab that one. We're going to do our color trick again here. All you got to do is just adjust that slightly without really changing the colors too much. Accept it, and then the colors that you want are in the previously used or the recent. And there we go. Now we're also going to throw on a structural part here, equipment plate, and move the missiles to there, and then get rid of that cockpit. And let's move our companionway back into its stairwell position. And then for the sides here, the Tayo side cap. And I'm going to use B, version B, because I like the way it looks better. You can, of course, can use whatever version you want to. And, there we go. I'm going to run that along there. At some point, I will swap out on this side. I'll swap out the cap underneath the wing for another cargo bay, but for the time being, I'm using the side cap. All right, so something happened there. Not sure what. There we go. And then let's get these colored as well. There's actually another trick you can do when you have one thing colored. I did it with the companionway, stairwell, ladder well. Once you have it colored, just copy it, Control G, and then you don't have to worry about coloring all the rest of it. It makes it a little bit quicker. Okay, so the only thing we're missing now is the caps up front to make it all even. You could go with companionways. The system may put the ladder in the front then. If you want to keep the ladder in the back, I would not do companionways. If you don't care about where your ladders end up at, do companionways. I'm actually going to go not with that cap. I have the Stroud nose cap is what I have planned for it. I got other ideas for future changes, but for an early version of the Razor Crest, like a Razor Crest Mark 1, the Stroud and cap has been my go-to so far. We put that on both, and then it's as flush as we can make it with a nice looking front end. You could, like I said, if you did the companionways, your front's going to look like that, which is not great. I suppose you could put portholes in there, but again, future ideas for the Mark II. But for now, here is your Mark I Razor Crest, and I'm going to go find some bad guys to shoot at. Alright, so let's get a quick tour of the Razor Crest here. Razorleaf, after it's been converted to the Razor Crest. Here it is from the outside, not too bad looking. Let's go and go inside so we can see all the different parts we've picked out.
Time to get this ship moving.
Of course, we got the companionways here. Increase our ladder well. We'll go up to the second floor momentarily. Straight ahead forward, we have the HopeTech Armory.
You're looking splendid
Has
today,
quite a bit
Captain.
of weapon storage here, and a small brig for those bounties that you pull in the forward part of the armory as well. So guard stations on either side, armory and brig in the center. On up to level 2. This is the Deimos companionways, and this is a Deimos captain's quarters. Pretty standard fare for the captain's quarters. There's a few other variations I've seen. I've got one on one of my frontiers I'd rather have on this, but I do not remember where I got it from. So that'll be an upgrade I do later and the next version of the Razor Crest. On up to level 3, we've got our workshop. It's all of our crafting benches in here. Should be pretty standard fare. And then the cockpit in the front. Cargo access there. Captain's locker is here. And of course, the pilot's seat. Let's get a good shot of it taken off. And those are the scenes that we live for. It's not a bad similarity to the Razor Crest. Alright, one last thing. Let's watch it go to warp.
Scan complete. You are cleared to land at New Atlantis. Please enjoy your visit to Gemini.
There we go. Alright, so I've been jumping around randomly, trying to find some spacers or Crimson Fleet. I've just found some. We went into the pause menu real quick to save anything that they may say. Hopefully they will make some comment about us being the Mantis, which I've had that happen on my other character, so but it's kind of random when they do it. But as you'll see, we still have all the capabilities of the Mantis's original ship, the Razorleaf. I am still going to leave it named the Razorleaf. for in-game purposes. Well, no real in-game purpose, but just for the roleplay purpose, it is the Razorleaf. But it just looks like the Razor Crest now, or very similar to it. So let's see how it does.
Fancy flying, stranger.
Ooh,
Please respond.
we're going to ignore that because
Understood.
I'm not saving any of this.
Thanks again, stranger.
So as you can see, it flew very well. Those were on par levels with what my character's current level is in this playthrough. There were 3 of them. It does look like we have a few potential allies out here that were assisting us. But all in all, I'm used to our shields breaking fairly often until I got the Razorleaf. And so as you can see, even with these changes, we're still, we kept all the stuff. Everything that was made at the Razorleaf is still there. And from the backside here, it's not a bad looking ship, very comparable to the Razor Crest. I know it's not exact, but it's not too far off either. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get to create your own Razor Crest. Feel free to link your images down below with your Razor Crest and your variations of it and things that you may find that work out better than what I have. Until next time, I appreciate you all stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe down below. And if you want to watch the adventure live, join me over on Twitch at Mandalorian Wraith. Have a good day. Take care.